The grocery store was nearly empty at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. Ryan Martinez pushed his cart slowly through the cereal aisle, his 7-year-old daughter Sophia walking beside him, debating the merits of various sugary breakfast options. "Dad, can we get the one with marshmallows?" Sophia held up a colorful box. "We talked about this, mija. You can pick one treat cereal and one healthy one, but marshmallows are made from plants, so technically—" Ryan smiled. His daughter was too smart for her own good sometimes. At 32, he'd been raising Sophia alone for 3 years since his wife died in a car accident. Every day was a negotiation, a learning experience, a reminder that he was doing his best in impossible circumstances. He reached for a box of cornflakes, the boring, responsible choice that would balance out whatever sugar bomb Sophia eventually talked him into, when he heard the voice. "Nobody move. This is a robbery." Ryan's military training kicked in before his conscious mind processed the words. He assessed the situation in seconds, one gunman 20 feet away, waving a pistol erratically. Amateur, nervous, probably desperate. 2 other customers visible, an elderly man near the dairy section, and a woman in an elegant black dress near the end of the aisle talking on her phone. The woman looked up at the gunman's shout, her expression shifting from annoyance to fear. "I said nobody move!" The gunman was young, maybe 20, his hands shaking. "Wallets, phones, now! Put them on the ground!" The elderly man complied immediately. The woman hesitated, her hand tightening on her phone. Ryan's instinct was to move Sophia behind him, shield her with his body. But years of combat experience in Afghanistan had taught him that predictable responses got people killed. Instead, he calmly picked up the box of cornflakes he'd been reaching for. "Sophia," he said quietly, his voice steady. "Go ahead and grab those marshmallow ones you wanted." His daughter looked at him, confused but trusting. "Okay, Dad." The gunman's attention snapped to them. "I said don't move." Ryan didn't even glance at him, just continued reading the nutrition label on the cornflakes like it was the most important thing in the world. "Did you know these have added vitamins? That's interesting. Are you deaf?" The gunman moved closer, the gun now pointed directly at Ryan. "Put down the cereal and give me your wallet." Ryan finally looked at him, his expression calm, almost bored. "No." The simple word hung in the air. The gunman seemed genuinely shocked. "What did you say?" "I said no." Ryan set the cornflakes in his cart carefully. "Sophia, sweetheart, do you want the chocolate milk or regular? You think I won't shoot you?" The gunman's voice went higher, panicked now. "I think you're terrified," Ryan said calmly, pushing his cart forward slowly, positioning himself between the gunman and Sophia. "I think you probably have a very good reason for being here, making terrible decisions. I think that gun is your grandfather's, based on the model, and I think you've never fired it." The gunman's eyes widened. "How did you—" "I also think," Ryan continued, his voice still conversational, "that you picked this store because it's in a quiet area, low security, closes late. You waited until there were few customers. You're not here to hurt anyone. You're desperate. Stop talking. Can't do that." Ryan glanced at Sophia, who was watching him with complete trust. "See, I've got a daughter here, and she's learning from every moment of her life. Right now, she's learning how to handle fear. I'd prefer she learns that fear doesn't control us." The woman in the black dress had been edging toward the exit, but she'd stopped, staring at Ryan like he was insane. "I could shoot you right now," the gunman said, but there was less conviction in his voice. "You could try. But son, I spent 8 years in the Army, including 2 tours in combat zones. I was an end-of-day specialist, which means I defused bombs while people shot at me. I've had steadier hands than yours pointed at me by much scarier people than you." Ryan's voice remained calm, matter-of-fact. "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to put that gun down, sit on the floor, and we're going to wait for the police together. And if I don't, then I'm going to take it from you. Which would be unfortunate because I'd rather not traumatize my daughter or hurt you. But I will if necessary." The gunman looked at Ryan's calm face, at his relaxed posture, at the complete absence of fear in his eyes. Something in that confidence broke through the adrenaline and panic. "I need money," the gunman said, his voice cracking. "My mom's sick, Cancer. The treatment costs. We've got nothing left. I didn't know what else to do. Ryan's expression softened. What's your name, son? Marcus. Marcus, I understand desperate. I've been desperate. But this isn't the answer. You know that, or you wouldn't be shaking so badly. The woman in the black dress finally found her voice. Are you seriously having a conversation with someone pointing a gun at you? Ryan glanced at her. Ma'am, he's not going to shoot anyone. He's a scared kid trying to save his mother. There's a difference between that and actual danger. How can you possibly know that? Because actual killers don't announce themselves. They don't give you time to think. They just act. Ryan turned back to Marcus. Listen to me. Put the gun down. There are programs, charities, ways to get help. This path only ends one way, and it's not with your mother getting treatment. It's with you in prison and her alone. Marcus's hand was shaking harder now, tears streaming down his face. I don't know what to do. Start by putting the gun down. Can you do that? For a long moment, Marcus didn't move. Then, slowly, he lowered the weapon and set it on the floor. His legs seemed to give out, and he collapsed beside it, sobbing. Ryan moved quickly, securing the gun and stepping between Marcus and the other customers. Sophia, can you go find Mr. Patterson? Tell him we need the police, but tell him nobody's hurt and everything's okay. Sophia nodded and ran toward the manager's office with the fearlessness of a child who trusted her father completely. Ryan knelt beside Marcus, his voice gentle now. What's your mother's name? Elena Rodriguez. St. Mary's Hospital? Marcus nodded. I know the head of oncology there. Good man. Let me make some calls. Ryan looked up at the woman in the black dress, who was now recording everything on her phone. Ma'am, could you please stop filming a kid's worst moment? She lowered her phone slowly. Do you have any idea how insane this was? He had a gun. He could have killed you, killed your daughter, but he didn't. And now he's getting a second chance instead of spending his life in prison. Seems like a good outcome. The police arrived within minutes. Ryan explained the situation calmly, provided his statement, and watched as they took Marcus away in handcuffs. Before they left, Ryan got Marcus's mother's information and promised to follow up. Sophia returned with chocolate milk and marshmallow cereal. Can we still get these, Dad? Absolutely, mija. As they headed to checkout, the woman in the black dress approached them. Up close, Ryan realized she was younger than he'd thought, maybe 35, with sharp green eyes and an air of command. I need to speak with you, she said. Ma'am, I'd really like to just pay for cereal and go home. I'm sure you would. But what you just did was either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid, and I can't decide which. Probably both. Ryan smiled slightly. But my daughter is safe, nobody got hurt, and a kid might get a chance to save his mother the right way. I can live with stupid if that's the result. The woman studied him for a long moment. I'm Amanda Thornton, CEO of Thornton Security Solutions. We provide security, consulting and training for corporations, government agencies, and high-profile individuals. Congratulations, I want to hire you. Ryan blinked. Based on what? Grocery store negotiations? Based on the fact that you assessed a volatile situation, remained calm under direct threat, de-escalated without violence, and prioritized the safety of everyone involved, including the perpetrator. That's not luck. That's training and character. I'm not looking for a job. I'm a contractor. Construction. It pays the bills. I'll triple whatever you're making. Plus full benefits, flexible schedule for your daughter, and the chance to do something that actually uses your skills. Amanda pulled out a business card. I've been trying to develop a de-escalation training program for security personnel. Every consultant I've hired thinks the answer is more force, more weapons, more aggression. You just proved there's another way. Ryan looked at the card, then at Sophia, who was trying to read the ingredients on her marshmallow cereal. Why me? Because in 8 minutes you did what most trained security professionals can't do in their entire careers. You saw a person, not a threat. You used psychology instead of force. You protected everyone, including the person who came there to hurt people. Amanda's voice was intense now. That's not something you can teach from a manual. That's instinct combined with experience. I need that. And if I say no, Then I go back to hiring people who think the only solution to danger is more danger. But I think you know that's not always the answer. I think you spent years in situations where shooting first wasn't an option, where understanding people saved more lives than weapons ever could." Ryan was quiet for a moment. Construction paid the bills barely and left him exhausted every night. But it was predictable, safe, didn't require him to think about the things he'd seen overseas. Then again, maybe that was the problem. Maybe he'd been hiding from his skills instead of using them. "I'll think about it," he said finally. 3 days later, Ryan called the number on Amanda's card. Within a week, he was consulting for Thornton Security, developing training programs that emphasized understanding and de-escalation over force. Within a month, he was leading seminars for law enforcement, teaching them what he'd learned in war zones, that reading people, staying calm, and treating everyone with dignity saved more lives than any weapon. He also made calls about Elena Rodriguez, got her connected with charity programs and hospital assistance that Marcus never knew existed, visited her once, told her that her son had made a mistake but was getting a second chance because of her, because love made people do desperate things. 6 months later, Marcus completed his community service and started working as an outreach coordinator for the same programs that had helped his mother. He sent Ryan a letter. "You saved my life that night. Not just from prison, but from becoming someone I couldn't live with. Thank you for seeing who I could be instead of just what I was doing." Amanda's company grew rapidly under Ryan's influence, becoming known for training that emphasized humanity over aggression. Ryan traveled sometimes, but never so much that he missed Sophia's school plays or parent-teacher conferences. The flexible schedule and higher pay meant he could be the father his daughter needed. One evening, after a long training session, Amanda found Ryan in his office reviewing footage of a security incident. "You changed this company," she said. "Our clients used to hire us because we made them feel powerful. Now they hire us because we make them feel safe. That's because of you. I just teach what I learned the hard way, which is that fear makes people dangerous, calm makes them human. And everyone, even people making terrible choices, deserves a chance to be seen as human first." Amanda nodded. "That night in the grocery store, I thought you were insane. Now I understand you were the only sane person there." Ryan looked at the photo on his desk. Sophia, smiling, holding her science fair trophy. "I had something to protect that was more important than my ego. That changes your priorities. Sometimes the bravest response to danger isn't aggression but calm. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who refuse to let fear dictate their actions. And sometimes, treating desperate people with dignity instead of force doesn't just save lives, it transforms them." If this story moved you, like and share it with someone who believes that strength is staying calm when others panic. Subscribe for stories about real courage, and comment about a time when someone's calm response changed everything.